And we're live. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the seventh episode of Global Entrepreneurship. Now, this afternoon, we're joined by our colleagues from the Analytics Association of the Philippines. This is really a long journey for us, but this is already 70% of the content that we have prepared for you. So, on behalf of our partners, Global Chamber, represented by Colin Christie, who can join us today, and of course, Business Enabling Tool by Vision Maharaj. We'd like to welcome you again to the seventh episode of Global Entrepreneurship. Joining me today is a new co-host. Good afternoon, Michelle. How are you?
Hi, Sam. Nice to be back. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Everyone, Michelle joined us during the first anniversary of BounceBack Philippines last March 12th. Thank you, Michelle, for joining us. We were
Of course.
inspired by, what AAP has been doing, the Analytics Association of the Philippines. So, Michelle, from March up to today, what has happened? What's the development at AAP?
Oh, so many things. Our 1 hour is not enough to cover, no. But of course, that's me being proud of the organization, and it. I think it's we can take it more as a positive sign to
Mm-hmm.
where the Philippines is actually at, no, when it comes to progressing in our plans. Way back in 2017 when AAP started, it's really mobilizing the private sector, but also the academe and the public sector when it comes to putting together projects and programs to help the whole country upskill on analytics. And this is, in a span of, so 2021, so it will be 4 years already. Our anniversary is actually November. So we'll be 4 years in November, and we have already started to show some progress in our projects with the public sector, and I believe our speaker for this afternoon will also be speaking about that, no. Our progress with academe is more working with not just the universities and state colleges here in NCR, but even extending outside and working on their new curriculum para makasama naman yung specializations and other programs that will help upskill on analytics yung kanilang students. With the public sector and also working with even the Australian government, no, our speaker later on is the project lead for that, na from the AAP side. But we are part of the plans of DOST and then PBED to include naman even at the senior high school level,
Yeah.
the K to 12,
Mm-hmm.
introducing na yung mga data skills na kailangan naman natin na they need to be starting young on. Kumbaga, we can introduce naman early the certain topics that are for them to appreciate analytics and data in general at that age, no. So that's I believe that's also been announced na. So AAP is going to be part of that curriculum development. So
Correct. I
maraming
read that. Oo,
ginagawa,
yung
Sam.
MOU niyo with DepEd, di ba? So galing, ang galing talaga. And it's good that you're starting them young, no? So, I mean,
Yeah,
especially now, when trillions of data, is being shared, right,
correct.
worldwide, how do you sift through all of these, right? So, and especially,
Mm-mm.
Michelle, as we're being watched by our members in BounceBack Network. And
Mm,
majority are women. We're happy that finally in the show we have a lady gracing us. So
of
72% of
course.
our members are women. And in fact, yung ating education, we also have an education group. We're being broadcasted also live today with our Bounce Back
Mhm.
Education group. Yun naman, Michelle, 82% naman doon mga females. So talagang looks like
Yun
in the
pala eh.
oh, again, we're talking about data, no? So ganito kahalaga talaga. Again, Michelle, in
Right.
your own words, in your own experience, how do you call you a data analyst or in the profession? How do you call yourself? So analytics professional or ano yung mga common terms that
Yeah. There's actually that's a good ano, no. If we can use this platform of yours of
mm,
ours, no, to mention that the analytics career in general, ang dami kasing roles and
mm,
ang daming job titles, so
mm,
there is analytics practitioner. It's more general. There's also analytics leaders. So for those
mm.
who are spearheading all these analytics programs and making sure that
C-level.
they
Nasa C-level yun, yung leaders, no?
nasa
Oh,
C-level. But you will see later, ha, dun sa presentation ni Sherwin,
mm,
that's really very crucial, no?
yeah.
Na kasi our analytics projects need to be proving business value talaga and quantifiable value. So that's why we need an analytics leader. And then I mentioned no the why is it being open to to the senior high school graduates. That's also because in the analytics career paths, you can start as a data analyst or a data associate.
Mhm.
So, ano siya, very broad, no? Parang pataas, meron din pa wide because there are
Mm.
many disciplines involved in analytics. So, we have data engineer, so engineering more on the scripting and working with databases and
Mm.
that kind of discipline. And then the data scientist working on algorithms, machine learning, and all that. So, masyadong malapad yung wide of scope in terms of job titles, but also from starting out as data associates, you can have a path towards analytics manager, analytics leader.
Mm. Galing, ano? Talagang so clearly, it should be one of the hottest jobs right now, right?
It
Especially
is, yes,
in
it
this digital
continues to be
economy.
correct.
Oh. And as
Mm-mm-mm.
companies transition or they're now in their digital transformation journeys, right? So tama-tama talaga.
Mm-mm.
Having analytics professionals on board is going to be a great help for them. Oh. In, in
Ayan.
fact, maraming schools, di ba, nag-offer na ng masters in analytics, no? So, well,
Yes,
we
yes.
mentioned your partnership with the UNP, di ba? That's one, no? So,
Mm-mm.
oh,
Oh, it's aside from that, we've also in the AAP itself, no, our member organizations from the academic institutions, it has
mm,
really grown since the pandemic. So there's, if I may mention, of course, UST,
mm,
Letran.
mm,
I forget parang pasensya na po dun sa mga members namin, pero it's really a long list na nakakatuwa, no? But even extending outside of the NCR, so as I mentioned, but there's also this parang ating mas partnership, stronger partnership with the Adept Ed and also working with CHED and the DOST para mas marami tayong matouch na academic institutions.
correct. Do you have data, Michelle, on how many Filipinos are already certified as on analytics, or
Okay.
meron na ba kayo? Do you have that
That's
information or?
We have through the project Sparta. So
Mm,
if you may have heard of it, no. So si
mm,
Sherwin maybe later on can talk about that. But the goal is to graduate 30,000 mga data
mm,
professionals by
mm.
2023, if I recall. Right now we have 24,000 na
Wow.
enrolled.
Mm,
So
mm,
they have to graduate para we can count them. But with that number, with that big number, you can imagine how much more we're adding to the workforce who are data literate and even analytics literate.
mhm.
That's outside of those graduating from the universities and from the schools. Kasi ito project Sparta lang to eh. So we
Ah,
still have to gather. I believe that number no as we are working with the schools very closely now. But meron din tayong job market study that
mhm.
we have partnered with another organization naman because it is something that needs to be tracked as you're just curious about it, right? Parang sabihin natin mamaya sa ating SME audience ay get into analytics, but then they will, of course the question is, okay, where can I find, di
Mm.
ba, where can I hire? So importante po yung malabas din natin yung information na yon. So we're working with another organization to produce a labor market study, particularly for the demand versus the supply ng
Precisely,
ating analytics talent.
oo,
Yes,
oo.
oo.
Para
So
ma-hit natin yung gaps,
we'll
'no? Oo, correct, correct, oo.
yeah, yeah, and then we'll be monitoring that, no? So the intention is to come up with a regular report on that para we keep track.
Correct. Okay, Michelle, huwag natin patagalin, 'no? So, itong ating speaker
Oo.
talaga is your colleague, 'no? Teka,
Mm-mm.
meron ako sa kanyang babasahin ko na lang, okay? Okay,
Yes.
our speaker has been involved in strategic capability development and digital transformation initiatives at Accenture, IBM, Point West, and Teradata. In these roles, he has been responsible for defining strategies to initiate and expand key transforming digital services, most especially in the fields of analytics and user experience, or UX. Okay? He co-designed the Master in Applied Business Analytics program at the University of Asia in the Pacific and currently serves as a faculty in the program. He's a founding board member of the Analytics Association of the Philippines and co-chairs the Policy Research and Insights Council, working alongside the UST, DTI, DepEd, and SHED on nationwide programs relating to analytics and artificial intelligence. So, Michelle, can you please introduce and usher in our speaker for today? Okay.
All right. Very happy and excited for you all to listen to Mr. Sherwin Pelayo from the AAP.
Hey, Sherwin.
Good afternoon, and
Yeah.
thank you very much, Michelle. Thank you very much, Sam, for having me. For having me here. I think this is the seventh, no, in the Global
Yep.
Entrepreneurship Program.
Oh,
So I'm very
Magnificent
excited.
Seven ka, Sherwin. You're the Magnificent Seven, ano?
Lucky,
Seven
lucky
speaker.
seven, lucky
Correct, correct.
seven.
Oh. Yeah, Sherwin, yun ang haba ng introduction namin sa'yo, no? So, at least kaya alam nila kung ano yung kwan. So Sherwin, kumusta naman? So, nakabakasyon ka ngayon, di ba? When we were talking backstage, no?
Na
So, oh,
kabakasyon, although there are some digital transformation, I do have I kind of registered sa BIR na as an independent contractor. So I do have mga design thinking activities helping some,
mm,
small businesses in their own digital transformation journey. But tomorrow start na ulit ng full-time work.
correct, correct. Oh. May mga nag-greet sa atin dito, pero teka, hindi lumalabas na yung name nila. Like this, someone from Happy Fleur,
There
Project
you go,
Sparta.
Project Sparta.
Oh, please post your
Our
names para
Spartans.
ito rin,
Yes.
Project Sparta, well designed, written, and excellently delivered. Ang galing ng mga teachers, galing ng Pinoy.
Wow.
And then, hi, Teacher Sherwin.
Wow.
Hindi lang lumalabas kasi they have to give consent to
To show
StreamYard, di
their
ba?
to show their
Si
names. Yeah.
Robert then walang comment. Maybe you know him, Robert Adriano and Ami Adriano.
Most probably yan, one of our Spartans also.
Uh,
Talagang
and
pala mga
Connie,
yan. Mga
yeah, ito.
Spartans yan.
So you're being watched
Nice.
nationwide. At the same time, greet din natin yung mga manonood sa replays. Okay, so maganda. Ito si Arnie Barcelo pala yung hindi na nag-appear. Arnie Barcelo is also our colleague sa NatPop, and we have the Friday show naman dito, Privacy. Okay, so again, without further ado, labas muna kami ni Michelle, Sherwin. So that then again, your topic really how small businesses and entrepreneurs can gain insights through analytics. So very timely today, no? Tama-tama. Okay,
Yeah, I hope we
take
can
it away.
help our small business. All right.
The
Maraming
show is
salamat,
yours.
Sam. Yeah,
Okay.
maraming salamat, Michelle. So let me just start sharing this screen. Okay. And magandang hapon ulit sa ating lahat. Thank you again for inviting me here to speak about how we can make data and analytics work for small businesses and entrepreneurs. Okay. So like what Sam mentioned, Michelle and I, and actually Colin, who have been co-hosting this in the past sessions, we are from the Analytics Association of the Philippines, and it really has been our passion and our advocacy to really promote the use of data and analytics all over the country. We really want our country to be data driven, that our decisions, any decision making activity that we do will be based on data. And the advocacy is not really just for the entire country, but there's an entire ecosystem that I'll show you later. Hopefully you can indulge me a bit towards the end to introduce to you the work that we do in the Analytics Association of the Philippines. For now, let's focus on this topic for today: making data and analytics work for small businesses and entrepreneurs. What I would like for everyone to take out of this episode is three things. No, okay. One, analytics is no longer just for large corporations. We've seen small businesses, micro, small, even medium-sized enterprises shun away from even the thought of thinking of including doing analytics in their business, because they feel that it is really meant for large enterprises. But given the advancements also in technology, small businesses can also benefit from technology that process big data as well. Second is there are certain foundational requirements so that we can get the most out of analytics. And it is the same regardless of the size of your organization. Whether you're a single proprietor company, which I am myself, whether you're a micro, small, medium, large enterprise, the requirements for you to be data driven is the same. The most important thing, though, to learn here is that while the size of your organization and the technology that you use do not really matter much in analytics, it is how you implement those technology, those tools, those techniques in analytics that will make the difference for you. So these are the three things that I would like everyone who's watching this episode live, and those who will be reviewing this episode afterwards, to get out of this learning session for all of us. Okay. Before we start, though, in any session that we do in the Analytics Association of the Philippines, we want to level set everyone. We want to set the level playing field and just give everyone an understanding, a common understanding of what analytics is. Ano nga ba tong analytics na to? To be honest, you'll be actually surprised that you probably don't know it, but you're actually doing analytics your whole life. Hindi lang natin siya tinatawag na analytics. So we want you first to get grounded on what analytics is all about. Let's start with this. So we look into analytics as the flow of data as it transforms itself into what we call the data life cycle. So we start with data, it transforms into information, it information transforms into insights, and insights transforms into imperatives, and it actually goes into another cycle afterwards. So the first stage of this transformation is we create the data. Okay, so we create data from its transactional sources. When we fill up a form, when we have an employee, for example, a new hire in our organization, we actually let them fill a personal application form, right? That goes into their what we call the 201 file. So that is actually the start of your data. You collect the name, the address, the gender, the birth date, the educational background. So you start building the data of your employees. Similarly, if you have in small businesses, you might have suppliers, vendors, you might have customers. The first time that you interact with them, you start getting information about them. That's where you start data. When you make a sale in your businesses, you keep track of all of those sales, right? On a daily basis, you keep track of what items were sold, what was the unit price, what was the quantity that was sold, and what's your total sales for that particular transaction. Okay, so that's the first stage. That's data, essentially. When you want to start consolidating all of those pieces of data into a single repository, when you start summarizing all of those data, you start transforming the data into pieces of information. Okay, so in the information stage, you consolidate all of your relevant data into a single repository so that you'll be able to answer what happened. So again, if you are in the retail business or an e-commerce online business, at the end of the day, you would like to determine, okay, how much sale did I make for the day? Ano yung mga products that really nabenta? How much is left in my inventory? So you do that by getting all of those transactional data that you have for every purchase that was made for you, and then you consolidate that. Okay, on a daily basis. Kasi you really, I mean, as a small business, if you have items to sell, you have services to offer, you want, at the end of the day, magkano kita ko? And that's a natural question that you would like to ask. So that's why we consolidate all of this data so that we can answer what happened. So anong nangyari sa araw ko na to? Okay, kumita ba ako? Baka nalugi pa ako. Okay, that's the question that is being asked in the information stage. Pero our curiosity starts to kick in. It's just that it's not that we collect data every day, but since we actually collect data every day, you'll start to have historical data already. Okay, kasi of course, Today, you'll be collecting information for day. Tomorrow, you'll be collecting that. You've probably collected all of these pieces of data into information ever since you've started. So you have historical data. So you combine those information with your historical data, and now you can determine and find out ano yung mga insights that you can glean from the information that you have collected. And from these insights, the hope and the idea actually is that you'll be able to find patterns doon sa historical data ninyo. Patterns that will say, for example, again, you'll probably find that, middle of the week, talagang mababa yung kita ko. Pero pagdating ng end of the week, or pagsweldo, 15 or 15 or at the end of the month, you'll see that your revenue increases. You'll probably see, I mean, if you have information already from previous years, you'll probably see that there are certain months in the year where your sales are way up high. But then there are certain months in the year that you will see that mababa talaga yung kita. Baka nga may mga times na nalulugi pa tayo. That is, the set of insights that you can get again when you have all of these information, not just the current but also the historical data that you have. Okay, so you can now start to see patterns. With these patterns, you should now be able to answer the question why it happened and what could likely happen next. Una muna, you'll be able to answer, bakit nangyaring ganito? Bakit bumababa ang sales ko pagdating ng ganitong month of the year? Okay? Well, maybe yung paninda mo talaga is meant for colder weather, di ba? So, mababa ang benta mo pag summer. Or kabaliktaran naman, baka naman yung mga binebenta mo is really for during babagay talaga for the warm season natin. So, during the rainy season, mababa talaga yung kita mo. So, now you'll be able to answer that question. Na-answer mo na yung question. So, bakit nangyayari yung pagbaba at pagtaas ng revenue? Okay? With that information, na you now know the reason why things happen, you can now start predicting what could likely happen next. Now that you know that there are certain items that won't sell during the warm weather, okay, magpapalit ka ngayon ng titingnan mo ngayon. So what could I do? If I don't do anything, okay, mangyayari na during summer, I mean if my the items that I sell are really meant for the cold season, no? The rainy season, talagang mababa yung kita natin pag warm season sa atin. Okay? So, ganun at ganun ang mangyayari. So, you'll be able to predict, okay, pagdating ng summer, mababa talaga kasi mga items ko for rainy season lang. So, we don't stop there. Okay, unless okay na kayo talaga na may half of the year hindi kayo kumikita and sa half of the year lang kayo kumikita, I mean, you can definitely stop there at insights kasi you now have found out the reason why you have those changes in your revenue. But of course, as you know, as a business, we don't stop there. We want to make sure that the whole year long, we are earning revenue. We are a business. We need to grow for the entire year. This is where you go into imperatives. Imperatives are what we call also actionable insights. You make an action so that your business will grow, not just for a period of a certain period in the year, but also the entire year. You need to also address those things that would really matter to you. If it's sales, you just need to ensure that your sales will be consistently growing, as the year progresses. So when you start developing options, actions for you, that's where you enter the imperatives stage. And this is where you answer the question, what should be done next. So again, going back to our example, if your the products that you sell are really meant for the rainy season, then you should change your inventory during our summer season so that you'll still have revenue during the summer season. So ganun lang yon. So nagbabago based on the insights that you were able to gather. Now you can see it feeds back into the data lifecycle. Why? Because you have created new actions, okay? And now you might have created new sources of data as well. Since now you need new products, you might probably have new vendors, new suppliers who will provide you with the product. You will now start again creating data for those new pieces of data that you will get based on the new actions that you have created, and the cycle goes on. Okay, so walang katapusan na talaga. I mean, if you really want to make analytics work for you, you have to continue this cycle. Kasi gusto din naman natin talagang kumita ng kumita. Okay, so that's the first part of how we define analytics. It's a transformation of data to information to insights to imperatives. Let me get a bit technical, just in case you've heard these terms already. These are the common terminologies that you will hear when we talk about analytics. At the data stage, you'll hear terms such as data governance, data management, data security, and data ethics. Last two, pinaka-importante yan, especially of our data privacy laws. Yes, we collect information about our customers. Yes, we collect information about our employees, but we need to ensure that those are kept private. Okay, we need to secure those information. It's also important to consider the ethical use of data. Para saan ba natin ginagamit yung data na to? Uh, we are entrepreneurs. We own our business. We just need to make sure that the data that we collect, we use it for the good of our customers, not just for our own good, not just for the good of our businesses. Okay, so top of mind, ethical use of data as well. Okay. In the information stage, some of the technical terms that you might hear: data engineering, data warehousing, business intelligence, descriptive analytics. Okay. Kasi you want to answer nga the question, what happened? You want to describe what happened. Kaya descriptive analytics siya. In insights, common terms would be algorithms, machine learning, actually data science, diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics. You want to answer the question, bakit siya nangyari? You diagnose what happened. Kaya diagnostic analytics. You want to answer the question, what could likely happen next? You want to predict what's going to happen. That's why it's called predictive analytics. Lastly, sa imperatives, mga recommendation engines, optimization, simulation, prescriptive analytics. You want to answer the question, what should be done next? Gusto mong analytics mag-prescribe sa'yo kung anong pwede mong gawin? That's why it's called prescriptive analytics. So a bit technical, just in case you run across these terms when you go deep into analytics. A few more. Analytics is performed by certain roles. So na-mention na kanina to ni na Michelle and Sam, there are certain job families that are needed for us to do end-to-end analytics. And they actually match yung mga stages of the data lifecycle. We start with the data steward, then the data engineer, then the data scientist, followed by the functional analyst. And then to oversee the entire end-to-end analytics project, you'll have the analytics manager. Okay. Medyo maraming words sa slide. But this is actually how the AAP is promoting the various job families in analytics. Okay. These are, the way that we identify these job families. These are very distinct. Well, there might be overlaps, but the functions are different. The field of expertise are also different. If you are going to perform the function of a data steward or a functional analyst, your field of expertise should be in the business, in the industry, in the domain where your business actually is. If you are going to be in the career path of a data engineer, your field of expertise is in IT, information science, and computer science. If you want to be data scientist, ito medyo popular talaga ang data scientist. Okay, sorry, wala kayong kawala. You need to be really very good in math and stat to be data scientist. So, si Michelle yan. Statistics talaga yan. So, while she has grown further in her organization, of course, I mean, she heads that organization. I mean, she started in statistics. Okay, if you want to manage end-to-end analytics projects, then your field of expertise should be project management. Okay, iba-iba yung role, iba-iba yung title. And like what Michelle mentioned earlier, each of these job families have career paths on their own. You can start, we'll start offering analytics in the senior high school so that you can graduate in grade 12 as a data associate. And as a data associate, you can actually, it's a starting point for all of these career paths. So you can actually do that. And then as you develop your careers, depending on your field of expertise, depending on the role that you want to play, there are career paths for each of these roles. And you will see at the bottom, mga several titles, that you can take when you do select a career path for yourself. Okay. So I'm not going to elaborate more on this. The important thing to note is that if you want to do end-to-end analytics, you need to have these roles present in your organization. Okay. Next, something that we also emphasize is that analytics is a decision support system. What we want to emphasize here is that analytics will not make the decision for you. It will provide you the support system so that you can be given options, but the final decision is still with you. Okay, whether or not you're going to follow the prescribed actions that were given to you by your data scientist or your functional analyst, it's up to you. Okay, yun, pero yun lang sinasabi namin, analytics is still a decision support system. But with also advancement in technologies, analytics is also a decision support system for other digital processes as well. So we've heard about smart appliances, self-driving cars, may mga manufacturing robots na tayo in our manufacturing plants. They are digital processes and their decision are supported by analytics then. So the way, I mean, the reason why they do things, why they make decisions like this, sabi sa'yo ng smart refrigerator, oh, wala ka ng ganito, wala ka ng ganyan, ganyan. It's because of the analytics that has gone through collecting data, processing the information, generating insights. Okay, so analytics is a decision support system not only for people but also for digitalized processes. So this is how we what we offer as a definition in analytics, taking everything in. Analytics progresses data along its value chain, transformation from data, information, insights to imperatives, with the purpose of delivering the right decision support, again, key decision support, to the right people and digital processes at the right time, pinaka-importante, for the greater good. Cannot overemphasize ethical use of analytics. We want analytics to benefit everyone. We top of mind, analytics should be done for the greater good. Okay, so that's kind of a few minutes about level setting on what analytics is all about, and hopefully you realize na ginagawa ko na talaga yung analytics, no? I might not have known that it is called analytics, but it is analytics already. I mean, nagpaplano tayo every day, nagbabudget tayo. We make sure that our services, our products are always available. Nag-iinventaryo tayo. We keep track of all of our sales, who buys our products, who gets our services, who helps us build our products. We collect all of those data, we process all of those information, we generate insights, we make certain decisions based on those. We might not have called it analytics, but it is analytics, and we do it on a regular basis. Okay, so let's look into naman the requirements of analytics. So let's get started na ngayon with analytics. And as I mentioned at the first part, the second thing that I'd like for everyone to know is that regardless of the size of your business, okay, whether a single proprietor or micro, small, medium, large enterprise, the requirements of analytics are the same. These are the things that you need to get you started in analytics. Okay. um, I'll show you later. I mean, we this is something that we derived from the work of Davenport, Harris, and Morrison in their book Analytics at Work: Smarter Decisions, Better Results. I'll show you later that particular book, but they list down 7 um, components that are needed for you to get you started in analytics. They call it the Delta Plus. Kasi Delta, data, enterprise, leadership, targets, analytics professionals. That's the Delta. And that was contained in the first edition of their book. In the second edition of their book, dinagdag na nila yung technology and analytical techniques. Kaya siya naging Delta Plus model na tinatawag nila. So these are the 7 requirements. And again, regardless of the size of your business, you need all of these 7. The Delta Plus model actually also has an analytical maturity. So each of those components has 5 maturity levels to tell you if you are analytically competitive already. I'm won't be discussing that, but as part of your learning after this session, we'll be sending you information on how you can do a self-assessment of your organization in each of these components. But at the highest level of analytical maturity, starting with data, you need to relentlessly search for new data and metrics. Okay? Sorry, medyo nagiging technical. But you need to start leveraging structured and unstructured data. So, hindi lang yung mga resibo, information about your customers ang kinukuha natin. We might want to start also getting data from social media. Okay? Yung mga comments nila sa ating mga Facebook posts, sa LinkedIn, sa Instagram, those are text. Those are video. Those are unstructured data kasi hindi mo alam kung paano mo hihimayin yung data na yon. Structured data is, like an application form. It's structured because, you have the name, the address, the phone number, the email address, the pieces of data. But comments in your Facebook post, that's unstructured. You cannot, you can identify the nouns, the pronouns, the verbs, but ano yung essence ng comment nila? Okay, that's unstructured data. You also need to view data as a strategic asset. Okay, that it is something that is important for your business. Pagdating sa enterprise, at the highest level of analytical maturity, you need to have key analytical resources to focus on enterprise priorities and differentiation. Okay? Meaning, consistent yung application natin ng analytics at the enterprise level. You might be small, you might be a small business, but at the enterprise level, at the highest level, it means that everyone in your organization needs to be data-driven as well. Okay? In the leadership component, at the highest level, you need to have strong leaders who behave analytically and who show passion for analytical competition. Especially you, if you are the owners of your business, kayo to, you need to be passionate about making sure that your organization is data-driven and that you yourself behave analytically. Okay. Targets, you need to make sure that analytics is part of your capability and strategy. You need to make sure that the data that you collect will be part of your overall goals and it will differentiate you from your competitors. So when you do, if you're doing actually annual planning, you just need to make sure that analytics is part of the targets that you create at the start of your fiscal year. Okay. Analytics professionals, you need to have world-class analytics professionals. And you also need to start building analytics professionals across the enterprise. It's not enough that you hire seasoned professionals. You would do that at the start. But as you progress, I mean, hindi naman tayo pwedeng hire lang ng hire, di ba? You just need to make sure also that all of the people in your organization are trained in analytics as well. In terms of technology, you need to consider sophisticated enterprise-wide infrastructure, mga cognitive technologies, mga self-learning, may mga machine learning tayo dyan, and tools for advanced analytics. Tools that can help you predict what's going to happen next, and tools that will help you say, okay, given these insights, what should I do next? Then lastly, analytical techniques. Again, going deeper into technology here, but considerations of advanced machine learning, neural nets. Okay, neural nets lang. In a nutshell, it's trying to mimic how our brain works. Na pagko-connect kasi natin with our brain, things that all of the information that come to us. Okay, so there are certain analytical techniques that mimic the human brain. It's not fully there yet. Hindi siya parang Skynet, lumalabas yung age natin, Terminator level. No, hindi pa, wala pa tayo sa ganon. But we're slowly having technologies that are going there. Okay, so at the highest maturity level, which is actually analytical level 5, these are the requirements for each of those components. So you might want to ask, now hold on, now I'm a small business. Yeah, I'm even a micro business. You will have questions like, do I really need to incorporate analytics as part of my overall business strategy? Do I need to have all these roles talaga? The data stewards, data engineers, data scientists, functional analysts, and analytics managers in my organizations? Do I need to hire all of this? I'm a small business nga, di ba? Okay. Do I need to do advanced analytics? Okay. Do I need to predict what's going to happen? Do I need analytics to tell me what should I do next? Can I just do simple business intelligence, descriptive analytics? All I want to know lang naman is what happened. That's all what that I need, that I care about. Magkano yung kita ko ngayon? Lastly, you might also ask, okay, do I really need to invest in all of those tools, technologies? Do I need to do neural nets, advanced machine learning to do analytics? Yes, but may caveat tayo dito. You need to actually still do all of this. But the key here is that you need to make analytics work for you. You need to adapt with an A the analytics requirements to the needs of your organization instead of letting analytics adopt letter O you over. Okay? Meaning, don't change because ganito yung requirements ng analytics. Change analytics, make analytics work for you and your organization depending on your needs, depending on the needs of your organization, and most importantly, the needs of your customers. Okay, so we're entering into that third point na it's how you implement analytics that matters. It's not the tools, it's not the technology. So in fact, the very first step, okay, in making analytics work for you, in order for you to adapt, again, letter A, analytics for your organization, is that you have to start it from yourself. You are the leader of your organization. You are the master of your business, and you carry the entire enterprise, again, regardless of the size of your business. So it has to start from you. If you, as the leader of your organization, get behind analytical initiatives, if you believe in, that analytics, if you believe you yourself believe that analytics will make a difference, then your analytics initiatives will very much likely bear fruit, and the entire enterprise will follow you. because you define the culture of your organization. You can mobilize people, the money, and the time to help push for more data-driven decision making in your organization. Kayo talaga yung magsisimula. You are the deciding factor. You make the decisions. You are the starting point of your analytical maturity. So how can you do that? Okay. Start learning about analytics, and this is one of the projects that we have really started, and to inform everyone about analytics. Okay, this is a project of DOST Pictured, the Development Academy of the Philippines, AAP, and Course Bank. And shout out, I know there's a lot of viewers in this episode from Project Sparta. So shout out to all of you, Spartans. You're really helping the country be more data driven. Okay. So in Project Sparta, there are actually 6 pathways: the data associate, the data steward, data engineer, data scientist, data analyst, analytics manager. You will notice that we have pathways for the roles that we have identified. The data associate is meant actually for senior high school. So if you're actually grade 11 or grade 12, yes, you can enroll in Project Sparta. Take the data associate pathway so that you can start getting yourself knowledgeable about analytics. We are in our second year. The goal is to train 30,000 Filipinos. We have about, I think Michelle mentioned, about 24,000 already enrollees. The hope is that 30,000 talagang makompleto natin yung pathway natin. Sparta is made by Filipinos for Filipinos. Para sa atin talaga to. You can get the same from Coursera, from Udemy, from LinkedIn Learning, but ito talaga was developed by Pinoys for Pinoys. Okay? Para naman talaga maging data-driven yung country natin. It's not only also purely online. You'll get to interact with the subject matter experts in the discussion boards. There's a very active Project Sparta community page in Facebook. Okay, so just search Project Sparta PH in Facebook, and the community of Sparta PH. Very active yan. There are group chats. There are Discord teams, Discord groups for each of these pathways. Very helpful yung mga students. Okay, I mean, the subject matter experts are there also to help, but your classmates, kumbaga, your fellow Spartans are very very helpful as well. You can apply for scholarship. Visit sparta.dap.edu.ph. It's free. I mean, there are just certain requirements for you to get a scholarship. Madali lang naman yon. Some documentary requirements, and you can enjoy, having learning sessions. Again, it's not purely online. May mga hackathons na actually this pinaplano. We are partnering with local government units para ma-practice ninyo yung mapag-aaralan din ninyo. We partner with universities also so that they can also get started with analytics. Okay? So, may mga webinars din, i-plug ko na, tomorrow at 4 p.m. We will be having actually our 6th and final AAP Sparta Roadshow focused on data engineers. Okay, we've gone through all of the job families already in various webinars, and tomorrow will be the last. But all the recordings naman are in AAP's Facebook page, so you can review and visit there. Okay. These are the books. For me, ito talaga yung mga ginagamit ko to really make analytics work for businesses. As a consultant myself, these are the things that I tell my clients, my customers. Okay, if you really want to start analytics, go through these materials. These are also the materials that I use when I teach business strategy and analytics and management of analytics projects for the Masters in Applied Business Analytics program ng University of Asia and the Pacific. So shout out also, I know we have students also from UANP MABA program here. So I'll see you actually next term in August for these two subjects. Okay, so that's leadership and enterprise targets. You need to ask the right questions. Yes, you already have metrics. You measure these things: sales, customer retention, gross revenue. But these are just what we call vanity metrics. They are important. They make you look good to others kasi sinasabi, oh, ang taas-taas ng sales. But it doesn't really help you understand your own performance in a way that will make you more competitive in your business. So ask questions. Make this as part of your target. So which customer demographic buy most of my products? So it's not enough na may bumibili. Pero sino-sino ba talaga yung bumibili? Okay? Which suppliers offer the most value? You have a lot of vendors, you have a lot of suppliers, pero who gives me the most value out of the money that I pay? Okay. Which product line needs the most improvement? Baka may mga product talaga na hindi bumibenta, may mga services na hindi walang kumukuha. Okay? So we need to know that. Okay? So more than those vanity metrics, ask these insightful questions. And again, sa inyo manggagaling itong mga tanong nito. Put all of your transactional data in order. Okay, you might not know it. You already have more than enough data to start an analytic initiative, and you can source data from the following places: mga resibo, membership forms, purchase orders, marketing reports, even social media. Pag may mga nagko-comment sa mga Facebook pages niyo, sa Instagram, and kung saan pa mga social media. You have that already. You just need to start consolidating them. They might be all over the place. Baka nga iba pa dyan, nakapapel pa. But, just start putting them in order. A good spreadsheet software will do the job. Okay? For as long as you have a spreadsheet, start recording all of those data. Okay. O, sige, punta na tayo ngayon. Question natin, get specialized help. We have 5 roles, 5 job families. In the ideal situation, in an end-to-end analytics projects, you should have these 5 roles performed by different people. But these are roles, okay? So at the start, okay, to get you started, you can do with you or a delegate perform the role of analytics manager, data steward, and functional analyst. Naiintindihan nyo naman yung negosyo ninyo eh, di ba? Kayo din dapat mag-manage ng analytics project and then kayo din yung mag-monitor kung paano ginagamit yung data. Okay? So, kayo pa lang, 3 roles na ang pwede yung i-perform. Medyo importante though, you need to get a data scientist who can also perform the role of a data engineer. Kasi kailangan nating mag-dig deep dun sa mga data na meron tayo in all of the information to find those trends and patterns. And unless you are a data scientist yourself, that you are well versed in math and statistics and some programming languages such as Python or R, you need just to hire a data scientist, okay, who can also perform the role of a data engineer. So to get you started, yan, 2 tao lang ang kailangan ninyo. And yung isa doon, kayo na. Okay, so just need to hire a data scientist. At the early stages of your analytics journey, consider partnering with a budding or freelancing data scientist. There are Facebook groups with freelancers, mga freelancers, and actually kahit IT, data programming, may mga groups din on data scientist. Consider getting graduates of Project Sparta as well. Magpartner kayo, and they will help you with your data science work. You will help them gain experience. Okay, so at the early stages, consider those things. Okay, it's not going to cost you that much. Okay. But when you start growing your data, pag padami na yung data nyo, nagiging mas complex, that's when you want to start, looking into probably hiring different roles. May transformation kasi na nangyari, and we also want to make sure that there are quality checks, audit checks na nangyayari pag nagta-transform yung data. Meaning, dapat walang naiiwanan na data and all of the insights and actions are really coming from the data that we have gathered at the start. Okay. So, just consider it, pag nagiging complex na talaga yung requirements. But at the start with yourself or a delegate in your business and get a data scientist. Okay. yon, you'll madami na kayong actually insights na makukuha doon. Lastly, use the right tools and methods for your data analysis. Ito importante. There are certain organizations that will look into, okay, ano ba yung technology na pwedeng kong gamitin? They start thinking about the tools first. In reality, you need to think about tools and technology at the very last. Okay, you need to determine first ano yung kailangan nyo before you select a technology that will work for you, that will work for your requirements. So you need more than math and stats summaries of your analysis. So you need to do beyond descriptive analytics. So you need to do predictive and prescriptive as well. Consider getting an executive dashboard. Okay, so mga reporting tools, and there are some very good spreadsheets, actually, again, software that can do the reporting for you. Since you have your data scientists already, get your data scientist to explain ano yung mga tools and analytical techniques that he or she will be using for the questions that you have asked. Again, start lang with a good spreadsheet. Yung mga popular spreadsheets ngayon, they're powerful enough to do advanced analytics and reporting as well. So yung mga charts ninyo na kailangan, they can create an executive dashboard already for you. So to make analytics work for you, you need consolidated and integrated data of the highest quality, but consider please ethical use of data. The entire enterprise should be open to innovation, and it should manage analytical resources in a coordinated fashion. You need to have, you as leaders to be committed to use data in decisions and actions. You need to make sure that your targets are aligned from the top of the organization down to everyone in your organization. Pare-pareho kayo ng targets, and analytics is included there. You need to have the right analytics professionals at the right roles. You need to keep them engaged and motivated so that they will stay with you for the duration of your business. Use the appropriate technology that will support your needs, and apply the analytical techniques to generate rich insights from data. These are the 7 components. This is Delta Plus. Okay. Again, the key is you need to make analytics work for you. Do not let analytics change you or your organization. Okay. So in closing, we learned that, okay, just a review, analytics is no longer just for large corporations. It can be for a single proprietor, micro business, small, medium, large enterprise. Small businesses can also benefit from big data technology too. The foundational requirements is the same regardless of the size of your organization. Remember, Delta Plus. Okay. And what is important is that you make analytics work for you. It is how you implement analytics that will make the difference for you. Okay. That's the end of our episode. But, with your kind indulgence, let me just introduce you to the Analytics Association of the Philippines. Our mission is to develop and promote the practice of analytics across that data value chain, data, information, insights, imperatives in the Philippines. And our vision is a healthy and vibrant Philippine ecosystem composed of eting ecosystem natin, the government, the academy and learning providers, practitioners, solution providers, our industry partners, all ang focus niya nakasentro for the good of society, for the good of the Filipino people, for the good of the Philippines. Promoting lang, we can learn more during the 2021 Analytics Summit. It's going to happen from July 27 to 30 from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. So medyo maaga tayo. It's going to be 4 days. We are going to talk about all of the plans that we have made in the past. We have piloted all of those. Now we are ready to really go full-blown and with all of these projects that we have for the entire country. The plan talaga was to have all of these, the strategy to be executed in 2020, but of course, you know what happened. So it's we're restarting now this plan to execute all of the strategies that we have created. Please visit our website at aap.ph. If you have any questions, please email us at info@aap.ph. Please visit our Facebook and LinkedIn pages, so that you also would know how to be a member of the Analytics Association. You can be an individual, you can be an organization, a private organization, or you can be higher education institution or a school. You're all welcome to be members of the Analytics Association of the Philippines. That's it. Thank you very much. I think I medyo mag-overtime tayo, but you know, this is something that we really need to explain. We really need to be passionate about. We really need to make people understand yung importance of analytics and making data-driven decisions for our businesses and for our country. Maraming salamat po.
Yeah, thank you, Sherwin. Kailangan ng virtual clap kay kay Sherwin diyan, no. Parang masterclass talaga yung dineliver mo, sir, ha? So, salamat, no? Oo. So, question, pwede pa bang humabol sa Project Sparta?
Yes, pwede pa. So, we are the goal of Project Sparta is to graduate 30,000 Filipinos. We are at 25,000, no? Michelle, enrollees already. Most of the courses are already done. So kayang-kaya yan tapusin
Right.
in by next year kasi magtatapos siya ng 2022. Yeah.
So pwede ka humabol, no? Recorded naman yung mga
Yes.
courses. Okay, no?
Yes.
Sakto yan, no? We posted the link to Project Sparta. So again, we encourage you to there's still 6,000 more slots available, no? Ano yung requirement? Do you have to be a senior high school graduate or may work experience na for Project Sparta?
No. Anyone who's really interested, from grade 11 to age something, pwede yan. Pwede. There are some documentary requirements lang. Especially din kasi you have, currently the project is intended for Filipinos residing in the Philippines. Kasi since this is a scholarship program from DOST, there's kind of a return service na kailangan. So you need to show that you are really residing here in the Philippines. So I know may mga OFWs tayo who are asking about it. Ayan niyo po, alam na naman ng DOST yan. So there will definitely be projects for you as well. Yes.
Tama.
There are some transcript of records, ID picture, yung mga ganun lang naman requirements. Yes.
It inspired ba yan ng 300 yung kaya Project Sparta? So, talagang
kukwento pa namin yan. May mas malaki pang project actually yung
Yeah. Sige. Pag-usapan natin.
Actually,
no, talaga.
Although nakalimutan ko na ibig sabihin, it's called Project Goddess naman. Talaga, di ba? Good governance or sorry DOST, I forgot. Pero mas malaki yon na project, and Sparta is actually a subset of that talaga. Yes. Pero Smarter Philippines, using analytics, research and development, training, yon kaya Sparta.
Kaya Sparta, So
Yes.
pwede ka magkakaroon ka ng mga digital data apps, no?
I hope. Kahit man lang digital.
Kahit man lang digital. Yes, exactly.
Michelle, I forgot to mention, sorry, apart from Sparta, and especially kasi that Sam, you mentioned, how many percentage of your members are female? Mga owners of business?
Dun sa entrepreneur group natin, 72%. 70% are female. So roughly more than 40,000. Tapos sa ating education group, 82%. So mas mataas ang females.
Yeah. Michelle, nakalimutan, sorry, I forgot to mention. FTW, ikaw na.
No, hinihintay ko yun. Huwag ka mag-alala.
Alright.
Opportunity.
Okay.
No, of course, we're talking about analytics, and then you just mentioned nga, Sam, di ba, in terms of encouraging more women to get into tech, and I'm sure also in business, no, also in entrepreneurship. So I'm currently the co-founder and head of learning for what a non-profit organization called For the Women Foundation. So it's at ftwfoundation.org, and it provides free scholarship on data science and analytics for underprivileged women. So yun pong mga career shifter. So let's say we really have this it's a real story na we have one scholar na applicant na medyo na impact siya ng ng pandemic. She had to close down her business, her small business, and nag-apply doon sa atin ng scholarship for data science kasi nakita niya na okay, I need to be productive, no, and then learn something new while I have time. And then her idea was to learn data science, and after whatever happens, if she can get back to her business, edi good, and then apply analytics for her own business. Kung hindi man, then she will seek employment. Now, there are more doors to be opened kasi she has now analytics skills. So, ang ganda nung niya, no? Nung reason niya for applying. Yeah.
It's a bounce back story.
So baka,
kaya nga, correct.
yes,
so kaya nga sa bounce back talaga, we want everyone to, bounce back better than ever. Eh. So itong show na to, yung ating global entrepreneurship. Again, Sherwin and Michelle, no? Let's start the Q&A. Really, yung tagline natin is really, there's no business small to go global. So even if you're a small business, you can go global. Eh, diba? So how can we use analytics now, for example, if you want to explore selling our services, it can be both physical and digital to the global market. And then how do we start? Ano yung nakikita nyo? Again, using your Delta Plus and the maturity models, for example. If I'm an entrepreneur, for example, yung natin, it can be I produce handicrafts, right? And it's unique, for example, and I want to export first to Southeast Asia, etc. What can be the steps that I want to take, to use analytics to identify number of how do I go to those markets? Secondly, which markets do I need to go for, etc. Yan. Just lang, yung scenario lang na yan.
So yun just by those things that you mentioned, Sam, you need those information already at hand. Dapat one of the key things also to be really successful in analytics is you really need to be curious on what's happening around you. It's not just that you're concerned about your business, but what are your other what are your competitors also doing? What's the state of the place where you are actually doing business? Are there also other things happening around the world with your same business? Data gathering talaga to, data collection, and you need to be very curious about how are they doing things, how are they progressing. I think in terms of business also, what you really want to do, ang pwede mo i-focus kagad in analytics is how can you really maximize the resources that you have. Okay? Kasi a small business, maliit lang naman ang puhunan natin, ang pondo. Paano natin ba may stretch? Well, hindi na yung 20 pesos, di ba? Demonetize na yung 20 natin.
Coin,
yung naging coin lang siya, di ba? Paano mo i-stretch yung 1,000 na yon? And, by, getting to know your customers, your products, the way that you operate, tapos ma-maximize mo siya talaga lahat. Parang, okay, magpo-focus ba ako sa lahat ng customers? Or based on the information that I know, alam ko ito yung demographic na kailangan ko talagang i-focus . And then, even beyond that, itong demographic na to, ito yung binibili nilang product . And ito yung mga services na kinukuha nila. So, you can only answer those questions with data and analytics. Okay? So again, start with, ano yung questions na gusto mong masagot. Okay, so that you can maximize your business and so you can stretch also the funding that you have. Analytics yun talaga. Start with a question na gusto mo talagang masagot.
Especially now, no? I mean, still uncertain ng mga panahon ngayon. Michelle, can you add to what Sherwin shared?
Yeah, I was going to say, hindi siguro masyadong na-emphasize, particularly for SMEs, yung use of what we call the external data, no, or public data sets, publicly available data sets. Ang interesting dyan, dun sa mga aspiring natin na mga data scientists and analytics practitioners, that's all they have to work with for their capstone projects, for their thesis. And guess what? Ano yung tina-target nila na tulungan dun sa kanilang mga pet projects, so to speak? SMEs. So, paano ko kaya, I have this data, for example, I, instead of having a market research agency, the big guys, no, get you parang anong tawag dito, parang a customer segmentation. Ano ba yung profile ng potential market ko? But I don't have the funds kasi for that, di ba? Or to have it commissioned, and even the time kasi it may take a while, no? And then there is this student who's learning analytics techniques, and alam na niya, wala lang siyang customer, i-connect natin sila. Because the pet projects are typically, you know, I scrape data from the internet, titignan ko itong mga, maybe there is something that I can visualize in a map, and ito worldwide, ito yung, let's say, meron na bang nagbi-business ng handicrafts, no? As you said, you know, Sam. So maybe there is information out there that has that. Maybe DTI has information on where we export. So those are, there could be public data sets. There's also opendata.gov, which is a source of data sets na pwede nating makuha, particularly for what we're exporting. And then these students who are learning, they just nicely plot that in a map, no, in a global map, and merong may colors yan kung nakakita na tayo ng mga visualization, ano. And then if I make I'm the entrepreneur and I'm looking for a good market, potential market for my goods, yun yung data eh. Hindi yung parang dati sanay tayo na papasurvey ako pero wala ako masyadong kilala, paano ko kaya ika-crunch yung data when it gets to me. Ito, you go to galleries, we call them galleries, like dashboard galleries. There are many visualizations on with regards to trade potentials and opportunities globally. Tsagaan lang talagang mag-Google, so to speak, no, Sam? Pero that's just one venue where you can see ganito pala ako pwedeng tulungan ng analytics, no? And then I become data literate in the process because I get to, you know, interactive way, I get to, let's say, I click on a certain country, and then may biglang may other data points related doon for me, no? So may makakapag-explore ako on my own. So not necessarily very technical, I have to program, but first try to maximize the resources that are out there. So meron ding public na data sets, yung sinabi ni Sherwin, i-maximize mo yung resources mo, ano yung data mo, but maybe meron din dyan na nakagawa na nun in the internet world, no? Because for sure there is.
Correct. Oh, ang ganda talaga, no? Yung nakikita ko talaga as an entrepreneur, no, or an SME owner, kailangan talagang you need to have a habit of analyzing your business, external business. Kailangan talaga maging habit to, no? Ito yung sa tingin ko, ito yung forest view, di ba? Kasi kadalasan talaga ito na day to day. Ay nako, di ba? Lalo na if you're firefighting, for example, and especially during the pandemic, ang dami uncertainties, di ba? So you really are caught in the trees views. Nando ka talaga sa battlefield, no? Ito yung hinga, no? This is the breathing, no? Tama, di ba? So yun, Tapos yung sinabi ni Michelle, there are actually resources already available to you, diba, that you can just subscribe to, and then communities that you can join, like AAP, no? And of course, pagka naging alumnus ka ng Project Sparta, you're plugging into that 30,000 plus communities kasama yung mga subject matter experts, no? Kaya ganun. Ang galing talaga yun. Nakikita natin yun, no? What's emerging is data-driven organizations, di ba? And data-driven countries and economies, no? Ito, let's shift to the macro naman, di ba? Yung na-map nyo na ba? Kasi you're doing a study, Michelle, siguro, you're able to map, again, I'll talk about government first, no? Siguro si Philippine Statistics Authority, they're the primary, di ba? Parang sila yung, they're the custodians of data and meron ba mga, analytics practice yung mga, government, departments? For example, sa agriculture, meron mo tayo dong discipline on agriculture analytics, for example. So kasi, di ba yun talaga yung makakatulong on where do you need to put your investment. Eh. So again, based on your working with government, do you see also these, we can call them centers of excellence for analytics, emerging within government. Kasi talaga magti-trickle down yun sa private sector. Eh. Pagka data-driven ng gobyerno natin. Eh. Again, your thoughts and comments on that.
Yeah, I think Sherwin is more closely working with the public sector. So ako kasi sa private sector yung assignment ko.
Usapan natin mamaya yung private naman after the public sector.
Yeah. I would say that we are definitely catching up. Okay, in terms of being a data-driven country, and our government, are really having all of these initiatives for the country to be data-driven. In the past, kasi what I have seen is that a certain government agency will partner, or a local government unit will partner with a private corporation, and then they will do something data-driven, will do something analytics. Case in point, for example, oh my God, how many years ago was this? Okay, in agriculture, when I was still with IBM, we did a project for farmers, yellow corn, very specific, no? Yellow corn farmers sa Isabela. We wanted to predict yung yield of corn nila based on the amount of rainfall, the amount of fertilizer that they use, the type of soil, even yung gaano kalayo sila nagtatanim ng mga yellow corn. Okay, so we were able to gather all of those information, and put that in a what we call an analytical model to help them provide some certain actions na, okay, you plant during these times of the year, use this fertilizer, plant them so many feet apart, yung mga ganon types of ganon. But again, even before kasi, there are already data-driven initiatives, pero pockets lang. Okay? Yun din ang sinasabi ko dun sa isang component natin, which is enterprise. Tingnan natin ang buong Philippines as an enterprise. All of our data-driven initiatives should be coordinated across the Philippines. Diba? Yes, the Philippine Statistics Authority collects all of these data. Pero napapasa ba nila yung information natin as citizens to other government agencies na kailangan din ng data? Probably not, kasi this is not a shade sa natin. Definitely an area for improvement, 'di ba? Kasi if all of that information is shared across all government agencies, then I don't need to fill up another form if I go into a different agency. And nandun na naman, na-collect na naman. It's in a different database. Even working with LGUs, sometimes one department has a set of data, the other department has a different set of data, but they're actually just collecting the same set of data. It's not even integrated. So we are there, these initiatives of DOST, DTI, DICT, even DepEd and CHED, TESDA, we're slowly bringing all of these data-driven initiatives, and make it enterprise, kumbaga, enterprise level, country level na siya talaga.
Meron akong binabasang before yung sa World Economic Forum, they had a white paper on data-driven economies. Ang ganda ng findings talaga na ito nga yung sa executive summary, yung sharing data with a purpose. So tama ka, Sherwin. Ako, I'm also a data privacy practitioner naman. You only collect what's necessary, di ba? Tapos yung second point nila, designing a commercial, technical, and policy environment to leverage data for the benefit of society. Yung tanong ko dito, yung policy, do we have enough laws, for example, to encourage government to pursue data? Currently, I think one senator, I won't mention him, meron siyang nakapending na bill sa Senate on digital transformation for government. So, siguro baka maganda na yung AAP and NADPAP, we can give our opinion, no? Kasi kailangan talaga ng analytics in digital transformation. And baka, dun sa batas, baka pwede tayo mag-insert doon na, baka pwedeng yung Delta model, we can put it there, pwedeng yung maturity model, di ba? Not in the law itself, but dun sa IRR siguro. So
yes,
Pero ngayon wala, no? There's no data analytics law. Wala, di ba na... I haven't seen any.
There's a data privacy law, of course. You're very familiar with that.
Cyber crime bill. Meron.
we actually one of our board members is Mon Ibrahim. So
Simon,
who's former USEC, no.
from
So
the
siya
ACTs,
actually yung ano namin, connection namin yan eh. So sa mga government. So we're actually he connected of course as a DTI naman in the Bureau of Philippine Standards. And in fact, actually, natapos na namin mag-review ng mga ISO standards on big data and artificial intelligence. So the DTI, the Bureau of Philippine Standards, is now converting that into Philippine national standards naman. So hopefully, those standards can be implemented na din para meron tayong mga certain sets of you know policies, procedures that we can follow when we do analytics and even artificial intelligence.
Correct. So ito yung the last two executive summary ng report, yung paving the way with tech advances, definitely. And then ito yung fourth, maganda, enabling the potential value of data exchanges in marketplaces, di ba? You mentioned already OpenGov, di ba, yung Michelle? It's an initiative of several governments. I think signatory tayo doon, no? Yung the Philippines is signatory din sa OpenGov, project ko. Question ko, yung PSA ba, do we need to, well, it's an authority, do we need to elevate it into something more powerful? Ilang mga thoughts ko lang Kasi nga, again, if it's still an authority, like in DICT, naging department na, previously commission lang siya. Yan, with the importance of data now, for example, baka kailangan, maybe we'd like to review the current charter of PSA, especially from the data side. They're the ones managing PhilSys, yung data ng the mother of all databases. So again, your thoughts on this one, Sherwin and Michelle, working with government. Can a new law, for example, give more power to the PSA so that the data-driven governance will emerge from the Philippines?
So I think that was also the intention when there was an appointment of the national statistician. So the first national statistician before, so PSA. So right now it's si Dr. Dennis Mapa, no? So who is just a small trivia, was my professor in UP. Not his age, pero so I'm also connected to the PSA. So meron kaming group chat and Miss Lisa Bersales and all that. It is really, one of the most, I would say, parang downplayed yung kanilang importansya, yung ating makinarya doon sa PSA. Why is it like that? But does it reflect on us na we give little importance to data and we just think of PSA as survey? Diba? Hindi yun totoo. I think we still need to sort of remove that wrong perception na parang it's not just for that, no? It exists more than that, beyond that, and we can see its power now that we have the PhilSys, as you pointed out. Makikita natin. So I will not preempt the launch of the programs with PSA, but definitely has caught on the technologies on big data and syempre andyan yung mga statisticians natin, hindi lang sila glamorized na data scientist and all that, but definitely doing analytics work. So I will not give up yet, but it's in terms of policies and laws, makikita natin yung yung epekto niyan later on, very soon, not later on, no?
Yeah, ako from my point of view, I think it will be interesting to see a COA-like function from the PSA. Kung meron tayong COA auditors, baka meron din tayong data auditors and maybe data enhancers, no? Na yung mga PSA, meron kang mga naka-assign sa mga government agencies, even LGUs, as you mentioned, Sherwin, di ba? So, and then yung data exchanges, ito, if I were president, maganda tong pagkagastos na intelligence fund, di ba? Yung building that, di ba? Yung the analytics
investing, yes, correct.
Kasi talaga, nothing beats sound data talaga. If you make decisions and if you make investments,
right.
No?
If I may also relate it, Sam, kasi minsan ang nakikita nating trend sa technology is if the private sector has proven that these new technologies work, then the public sector will catch on. Parang ganon, no? Well, fortunately or unfortunately, we cannot say, no? Kasi ayaw naman natin na yung pera ng ng bansa ay nagagastos kung tayo palagi yung nasa bleeding edge ng
Mm-hmm.
technology. So maybe that is a fortunate side of things na the private sector has to be aggressive kasi 'di ba to compete with its peers in the industry. So they really take that opportunity to use the best and fastest technologies. So right now, maybe we can say that kung ano yung state ng use of analytics in the private sector, tignan natin is that like 3 years after the public sector is going to catch on, and therefore also the laws and policies will just follow by then, no? But right now, at least we are seeing a lot of successes in the private sector in different industries, and ganun din, no? Magti-trickle down din yan sa ating SMEs. I've trickled down in a very positive way na the SMEs will also be learning from the mistakes of the big ones. Diba? And hindi na sila ika nga ay magti-tuition fee dun sa mistakes na ginawa nila. So and then the technologies have also been enhanced and honed, like we see also with the software vendors, gumagawa sila ng scaled down version for our SMEs para mas maging affordable. And isa-segue ko na rin why I support the open source community. So yung ibig sabihin po nun ay you don't need to buy and invest heavily on commercial software. And there's a lot of not just open source na programming languages, kasi sabihin naman nung ating entrepreneurs, naku, kailangan ko ng programmer kasi kaya nga libre, kailangan naman tiyagain mong mag-program, no? No, in fact, there's also software, as in talagang very visual, yung GUI na tinatawag, di ba, graphical user interface, and they are free, no? Full function data science applications. Makikita rin natin sa internet po yan para hindi na ako mag-promote, pero meron din. So what it enables our small business owners is kahit sabihin natin na we have data on spreadsheets, and sasabihin natin, pero yung mga functions sa Excel are also still very high-tech for me. Ayan, meron din tayong open source options na very parang drag and drop lang din naman yung features and for visualization or also no for data visualization. So these are parang coming from the software vendors na talagang dati ay they only have the enterprise clients as their clientele. Ngayon ay gumagawa na sila ng scaled down version and then also creating what we call community edition, yung mga free. Yan. So take advantage of that, 'di ba? Parang ganun lang din yung pag evolve ng technologies. Wag tayo ding pahuhuli kasi kaya nga yan nakikreate. There's a reason behind that, no? And I hope we're just all open to learning new things kasi nga itong digital era mukhang wala tayong choice no, but to really just catch on.
Wala na talaga. Well, the pandemic brought it upon us. So, alam mo, today is the last day of Facebook Analytics. They're phasing it out.
Yeah.
Kaya ito yung topic natin. No? Well, I'm seeing different reactions. Yung iba sabi nila, well, I don't use it anyway. So, yung mga ganun. Well, and there are others saying, sayang yung free tool. Actually, we use it. We use it heavily kasi most of our communities are in Facebook. So, again, we don't know what will happen after, no? But I think Facebook, there are other third-party tools that can also get analytics from your Facebook insights. Marami tayo kasi sa BounceBack, they sell their services. So using Facebook Live, yung first Facebook Marketplace, and we ourselves, we grew from Facebook, so nandun. So again, insights. Let's go to social media. No? It's one of the best free ways now, quote unquote, to promote your business online, di ba? Again, we can also use the same Delta model, di ba, Sherwin, Michelle, with social media, no? So
with social media, yes.
Any tips for our entrepreneurs on how to maximize social media analytics for their business?
Yun naman talaga, it's really a source of very valuable information. I think ang pinaka-challenge lang talaga sa social media nito is kailangan na talaga natin i-segregate kung ano yung tama sa tinatawag nating noise. Okay? Kasi may mga ingay lang na parang hindi naman siya nagiging valuable sa atin. My suggestion lang is keep on reading comments. Kasi minsan may nakikita ko ng mga Facebook pages ng mga businesses, I mean even large, di ba? Ang daming comments, negative feedback, valid naman, pero parang wala namang ginagawa din. Okay? So it's important that na-actionan din naman. Mag-reply naman. Wag naman yung medyo automated yung ano mo, yung reply nakakad na yung reply. These are also your customers also din, 'di ba? They get your products and services, so and they took the time to provide you with feedback. More often than not though, makikita natin baka mas yung mga more negative than positive. Ano lang yun, intindihan lang din natin. I think there are also tools, Michelle, tama no, that can really get information na from social media and do what we call sentiment analytics lang din
Yes. Yes,
text
ma'am.
analytics. Parang sa amin, for
Right.
this particular comment, positive ba siya, negative ba siya, or even sarcastic pa nga may mga tools na ganun. I mean, several years ago, ano pa yan ang dami pa, ganyan, galing, kaya pala ng analytics. Ngayon, common na yung ganyan, common ang text analytics, sentiment analytics because of the tools also that we have. So yan, pwede mong ipasok paragraphs of feedback, comment, and then the tool will churn out. Ano ba yung essence? Is this a good or bad thing?
Yung imperatives, yung nasa dulo di ba?
Yeah.
Yung transformation from data info. You can have your
Wag
social
lang
media.
wag lang baliwalain yung mga yon. It's there. It's there for to help us improve. Okay.
Galing. And Michelle, definitely, I mean, big companies have used, they have their own social media teams, have their own analytics teams, di ba? Maganda talaga, if you're part of the data analytics team, you work closely with the other business units. No? Yun talaga yung key, di ba? So,
yes.
Doon papasok na
But one
sinasabi
thing,
mo, Michelle, na leadership, di ba, sa companies.
Yeah, correct. Yes. That's why it's I did that meetup Sherwin, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, yung importance of analytics leaders, analytics managers.
Yes.
It's not usually talked about na job role, no? It's usually the data scientist, ganyan, but the analytics manager is so important talaga in delivering these projects dahil sila yung nakakapag-realize do sa stakeholders na no, you need to invest in this kind of project and this is what we need. These are the resources that we need. And then aside from that, kailangan masisigurado niyang nag-execute yung team. So imagine if you just have, let's say, 10 data scientists, but they're all just working alone. Diba? Or hindi kumakausap nung business side, but they are just applying all their, fancy algorithms and all that. And then, okay, pass your papers kasi deadline na. That's not analytics, right? So it has to connect to the business, and then the imperatives have to be, diba, na-meet namin yan and all that. That is the analytics leader. So that's the importance. And yung sinasabi din namin, these leaders do not necessarily have parang yung background ng statistician ka ba or what. You can be a project manager. Let's say marami kasi IT project manager, no? And sanay na sanay siyang talagang mag-connect ng different departments and makipag-usap sa maybe sa third party vendor nila or what to get the data. So it's essentially that skill and just understanding what are you supposed to deliver in when you say analytics. How different is it in delivering an analytics project versus the usual IT project mo. So yun lang yung kailangan natin ng background on, and I believe that can also help them start a career as analytics leaders.
Galing, one last topic. We're actually 1 minute hours. Thank you very much. Sarap ng topic natin. BounceBack pala, we support all of your activities. I-promote natin sa community, yung Project Sparta, yung the Women Foundation, even yung upcoming summit, Michelle, will talk Colin para BounceBack can help you promote that also sa network natin. I have one final question. Ito, I think this is the most important then. Yung data ethics. Sherwin mentioned it several times, especially now, di ba? Ang daming fake data na lumalabas. And people may not realize it. If you have the wrong data, it can cost the life of someone, di ba? For example, in a medical situation, nagkamali ka ng, napag-switch mo yung blood type. Ito na, classic example lang ito. That's accidental. Pero pwede rin, di ba, wrong data or misuse data can cause the loss of business, the loss of property, etc. O yun, your thoughts lang on data ethics, yan, Sherwin and Michelle.
Well, yun, we cannot really overemphasize na din talaga data ethics eh. Kaya din actually, I mean, we've all heard about this. Naging cliche na nga, data is the new natural resource. Okay? And dapat ganun ang tingin natin as a natural resource like water, our forest, na hindi na nga natin naalagaan eh. But as a natural resource, dapat inaalagaan siya. We just need to make sure that we take care of the data privacy, Sam, di ba? We collect what is needed. We collect it once. Ensure na there's really a purpose bakit natin siya gagamitin. Okay? Another thing is that we need to share the insights from other groups of people. Analytics is a science eh. And di ba pag may mga scientific mga researches ka, may mga findings ka, before you even publish it sa journal, you had it reviewed by peers. Okay? Importante 'yon para hindi nakakahon yung insights na makukuha mo eh. It's an art and it's a science, but it's more of a science talaga. So, pag meron tayong insights na nakuha from our data, may interpretation tayo sa data, we should let others look into our interpretation, how we interpreted it, and just make sure na cover natin lahat nung bases. So, importante yon para, kasi minsan, may saying din, nakalimutan namin siya, na parang you can torture data to the point na it will tell you what you want to tell it eh.
What you want, yes.
Di ba? Yung ganun eh. Pero kailangan natin tingnan siya from all angles. And that's really, that's the ethical way to do that. Okay. Treat it as a precious resource also.
Definitely. Yep.
Yeah, if I may share din naman, kasi I feel very strongly about it. So obviously to us, we harp on that at the AAP, data ethics. But if you really want to send a message to everyone para to make it stick, right? So parang ethics has never been really parang, how do you police that, di ba? Parang ang hirap eh, di ba? There has to be like guidelines and all that. But if we want to just make people get reminded na as they're practicing analytics, just looking at the data, nag-collect tayo ng data dun sa survey or kung ano man, and nasa sa atin yon, di ba? It's as simple as getting into the habit of, I don't need to see that. Or di ba parang, pero wala magpupulis sa'yo ha, di ba? Hindi lahat may data privacy officer. So ang hirap talaga niyang i-implement, to be honest. But you can also just make sure that you are aware of na, okay, that is what is confidential data, what is ethics. It's not just the privacy kasi, di ba? Pagdating dun sa analytics models, yan talaga tinuturo namin yan sa mga data scientists kasi it cannot be biased, no? Yung models mo. When you talk about, I always get into like a heated, not naman heated argument, but when it is discussed, yung nakita nyo na ba sa Netflix yung documentary na Coded Bias?
Coded Bias.
Yun. Kung napanood nyo yun, talagang maganda siya because it's presenting talaga na it is not the that is evil, no? Yung parang baka sabihin natin yung technology, AI is evil. It's the human pa rin behind it, no? Na nagsabi sa kanya na okay, ganito mo siya kaya na-discriminate kasi ginawa nung machine learning engineer na ganito lang yung data na ginamit ko. It's all just white males and therefore it's spewing out intelligence and insights about white males, or it's getting biased yung kanyang results. But what I did like about that documentary is it's also biased. Hindi kinuha yung perspective nung gumawa. No? Diba? The machine learning engineer, the data scientist could have defended himself or herself na parang,
Correct.
why did you do it that way? Sinadya mo ba yan?
Mm.
Diba? What if
Mm.
parang during that time, the data that was available back then was really, the job was just for males. And now the models are using that as historical data. Then ang ipipredict niya is, okay, very likely to succeed ay male din, no? So was it intentional? Di ba? That's when you start asking questions. Ethical ba yung model mo? Di ba? Parang,
Yeah. Uh,
so at least the person could have defended himself or herself.
mm,
But
mm,
that's the tricky part, no? So
mm.
parang, how do you make regulations around that? It's you can imagine it is hard, no? But we, of course, we need to start somewhere. So is it as simple as yun nga, Data Privacy Act, then how do you expand that? And then maybe it's really just getting yung ating colleague, no, sa AAP, si Doc Ligor. So Data Ethics PH is this community that is championing and really making a lot of noise about data ethics, because if there is no other way to police it, at least people are aware, no?
Yeah,
That there is such a thing.
Correct. Magkasama kami ni Doc Dom doon sa isang, well, doon sa event ni Mon. Actually, nandun ka ni Sherwin, di ba? So,
Yes.
recently, pinag-usapan nga namin on the side. We hope to get him into the show yung this Friday kasi it's our data privacy show naman eh. Yun, siguro maganda, no? We can, all of us, associations, we can come up with a joint, code of data ethics, no? With our members
Oh,
to
it's
adhere
good.
Di ba? Kasi
That
talaga,
would be good.
you're correct, Michelle. Either you have it or not. And it's actually, you acquired it from childhood, di ba? So yung kung paano ka pinalaki ng family mo, ng parents mo, ng society, influences ng mga kaibigan mo, di ba? So, ganun talaga eh. I mean, sabi nga, ethics is, it will be there or it can be there, but it can be developed talaga. I mean, you can, just like any other trait, di ba? Yan, we've come to the end of our show. Before we ask for your final words, meron lang kami ni Colin ginagawa namin to palagi. We share to them what's going to happen next. So, isi-share ko lang isang screen ko. Okay. So again, Sherwin, thank you for being our speaker, and Michelle, thank you for being the co-host today. This is our 7th episode. Alam mo, Colin, Dishan and I, mostly si Colin, put this agenda together. So yung susunod, ito. So maganda yung topic. Next week naman, we have a Malaysian, si Nazir Mud, also from Global Chambers. We're going to talk about AI. So unlocking business growth opportunities to artificial intelligence. So actually, if you can tune in, I've seen him talk. He has a very interesting model for artificial intelligence. And he was able to, sabi nga kay Colin, ang dami niya ng use cases that we can bring here to the Philippines.
That's good.
So maganda yung And then on July 14, legal compliance must do for small businesses, and then the importance of financial planning for small business and entrepreneurs. Alam niyo itong ating topics kasi we map it with the competency framework of BounceBack Philippines. So several months in the making to when Colin did it. Hopefully both of you will come back sa season season 2. So coming up sabi
pero
ni Colin,
mag-attend ako ng legal compliance and financial planning. As I mentioned, kaka-register ko pa lang sa BIR at wala akong alam accounting. So, binigyan natin ng tanong ledgers. Hindi ko alam parang saan gagamit yung 6 kong ledgers na yun.
Tama. Okay, so some reminders to our listeners. Okay, ito, as I mentioned to you already, the 10 courses will be uploaded to an LMS. And then if they pass the exam, they can get this badge, and Certified Global Entrepreneur Adept badge.
Wow.
Nice, wow.
So, it's a 20 to 30 hour investment kasi talagang magagaling mga speakers natin eh. So hopefully in the succeeding seasons, we can come up with an expert level or a master level. Pinilot natin ito kasi napansin namin, meron ng webinar fatigue ang ating mga members sa BounceBack Network. Hopefully through this one, meron silang take home. Yep, they'll be able to show this badge. Kaya lang, mahirap ang exam. Parang siyempre, di ba, hindi naman natin bibigay ito na silver platter lang. Kailangan, you need to take the exam and review a bit. Kailangan panoorin nila yung replay. So, Sherwin, magkakaroon ng replay sa mga talk mo.
Yes, okay.
Nakita ko na exam doon. Naku, daming pwedeng gawing exam. What is Delta Plus? Ganyan, no? Yep. So, ito, our partner din sa Bluepoint Foundation. Michelle, they're an open source training community. 22 years na sila. one of their founders is former Senator Huita Salonga. So yan, Bluepoint Foundation. Thank you for sila yung magpo-provide ng ating learning management system and digital badges. So using
Nice.
Vision. So again, thank you Engels and Maggie Antonio for supporting this show. And of course, ang ating PR firm, Dominguez Marketing Communications, Mel Dominguez at Feliciano, salamat sa pag-support. Sila naman yung tumutulong sa atin to tell the story really of the BounceBack story and of course yung global entrepreneur
Right.
story. And also ito, we have our global page. Please go and visit. Dito, this is where we post additional activities and initiatives to help entrepreneurs to go global. Yun talaga yung dream ng show na to to help our local entrepreneurs to capture global markets. Di ba? Gusto naman natin yun talaga. So, to grow the economy. We also have a group.
Right.
And then, si Colin is offering 50% off sa Global Chamber membership. So, again, Global Chamber has over 450 communities worldwide, helping each other throughout this pandemic. Ang dami nila talagang programs for small and medium enterprises. And this is the website for Global Chamber Manila. Again, Colin, wherever you are, hopefully the membership increases. So, and this is our platform partner, Business Enabling Toolbox. It's like your companion. So maybe, Sherwin, if you'd like to try this out, we can give you a complimentary copy, and Michelle. So we can send you a code.
Oh, wow.
It's good for tama to manage your yung mga business or side gigs nyo. So this was developed by Dishen Maharaj with his wife. It's based in South Africa. So kababayan ni Elon Musk ang gumawa nitong business enabling tool.
Okay.
Currently we have an early adopter program. Over 25 people signed up and they're testing it now for free. Actually, $350 worth itong yung software at the basic level. So yun ang pinamigay natin sa BounceBack communities. May discount din si Dishen that he gave us. So exclusive for BounceBack community members. If you type in this code, you get 70% discount code.
Wow.
And they're allocating 10% of the proceeds for our BounceBack COVID relief programs. As you know, Michelle, if you remember, we were able to facilitate over 1 billion assistance already.
Yeah.
Not just sa pandemic, pati yung pag may bagyo, ganyan. So Jason Del Rosa, our founder, rallies the whole community to support. Pati yung community pantry PAs, we're supporting them also with donations. So again, napaka-generous ng ating mga entrepreneurs sa BounceBack Network. Next episode, so see you again on July 7, same time. Actually, here hopefully, again, you learned a lot today. So again, I'm going to stop my screen share. Again, final words again, Sherwin and Michelle. Siguro, Michelle, ikaw muna, ladies first, no? And then let's end with Sherwin. Okay?
Oh, maraming salamat, and we hope that we inspired you today to get into analytics. Wag po masyadong isipin na this is such a big investment. It's just for the big enterprises. It's really for anyone, no? For anyone. So we encourage the entrepreneurs to be data-driven. So, kolektahin po natin yung mga interactions natin with our customers, with our vendors, with our partners. We start small. And then, hindi po kailangan ng maraming data just to see, to make our decision-making better. And we will be also supporting you through meetups like these, webinars, and hopefully bounce back ulit, no? Makasali ulit tayo para we can reach you guys again. But also, we hope that you can join us at the AAP. You can also follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn. And apart from that, if you are into upskilling yourself, then Project Sparta, yun po, is a free scholarship for anyone. And we believe that it starts with the most granular unit ng all societies, which is us, no, each individual. So sana po you take advantage of all these opportunities na tinatrabaho namin ni Sherwin and ni Colin at the AAP and then all our colleagues there, because this is all for our ecosystem, no, that we build together with the academe and the public sector and the private sector. So we hope to see you there. Thank you po.
Thanks, Michelle. Sherwin, final words, sir.
Okay. Again, maraming salamat, Sam, for inviting us in this coaching session. No, it has been really a passion for us and advocacy, and we will, we are all very much willing to spend, time. Kulang atong what 1 hour and 50 minutes, to really tell everyone that analytics is important. Analytics is for everyone. And like I said, hindi man natin tinatawag na analytics yung ginagawa na natin siya. We really just need to be very conscious of it now, more aware na ganito yung mga kailangan nating gawin for us to be really data driven, and especially for the business owners, yung mga entrepreneurs dyan, it has to start with you. Okay, as leaders of your own organization, start being more conscious about all of the decisions that you are making, all of the metrics that you are measuring, all of the inputs that you are getting from everywhere. All of them naman are there to support, to help you grow your business and provide better service to your customers. There are a lot of resources available: AAP, Project Sparta, FTW for women scholarship. The analytics community is growing, and if there's one thing that we've seen in Project Sparta is tulong-tulong. Okay. I mean, not to the extent na sasabihin mo yung sagot sa exam, pero it's really about, just helping, people learn this thing called analytics. Okay. Maraming salamat again, Sam.
Galing talaga, no? Kulang talaga yung 2 oras dito sa analytics, no? Sherwin and Michelle, no?
Yeah,
Again, wala pa si Colin yan, ha? So, mas maraming kwentuhan pag si Colin, no? Yep, again, thank you for joining us tonight on our 7th episode, no? So, hopefully you can join us next week for, we're going to talk about artificial intelligence. So, once again, on behalf of my colleagues, Colin Christie and of Global Chamber, of course, Dishan Maharaj of this Living Tool, and of course, our friends from the Analytics Association of the Philippines. And Sherwin, itong partnership natin is actually under the banner called Digital Bayanihan Initiative. So talagang nagtutulungan tayong lahat talaga para umangat, no? To be better than ever during this pandemic. So once again, Sherwin Pelayo, and of course, Michelle Larcon, thank you very much. Welcome back again, Michelle. Sherwin, hope to see you again on the BounceBack Network.
Yes.
Oh, and everyone, remember, there's no business that is so small to go global, and analytics can take you there. Okay? Magandang gabi, and salamat again, BounceBack Network. Mabuhay po tayong lahat. Okay?